Hi, it's Xavier from Expressions of Grace Bonsai, and today it's repot day. Why do I sound surprised? I shouldn't be, because I've been repotting for the last 2 weeks. But what I'm getting on with today is some of the stuff that I'm not actually going to be looking at doing much with the roots. Just want to get them into more suitable pots, or just have a general look and see how they are. And that normally applies for me for all the sort of marmite type stuff. So I love putting sycamore in small pots, but the only thing you need to do is normally pull them out and have a look at the roots. Perhaps trim a bit off. Same with this ash. I've got this incy wincy little oak, and I think I might have shown you when it was right up here, but the summer drought last year did some damage, but we've got 2 nice shoots there, so I might do a little wiring on those, put that into something different. The apples, you've seen, I think Adam of Notion Bonsai has certainly done an apple, but look at this lovely 2 little shoots on this thing. I've got quite a few apples I've got to look at. Cotoneaster, again, these are all from cuttings, and I've got to work my way through about 30 or 40 of those. I'm certainly not going to show you 30 or 40, so don't panic. I also mentioned to you that I wanted to take this Itoigawa Juniper, and rather than style it or do anything, I'm actually going to put it into a nice deeper pot. Probably I want something like this, I want it to be in something like this, which means I have to take that Chinese elm cutting out, because what I want to do is develop a stronger root structure on this, but I also want this to become a feeder plant for future cuttings. I only have 2, I'm in no hurry, but these are the potential gold dust for the bonsai community. So certainly I want to get some Itoigawa. I love trying to say that word. And then I've got this one, which is on a rock. It's a small pot, and again with this one, I probably want to put that into a slightly bigger pot. Loads of nice moss on it. I might have a look and see what the root structure is underneath, but it's very shallow. And though many people would say that's exactly what it should be for this, I want this to be bigger as well. So I'm going to put that into a slightly bigger pot. And also the Japanese white pine, which I bought last year from Watson Bonsai in Airdrie. I meant to repot it late last autumn. Never got around to it. This will become almost a slip pot probably. I don't want to disturb any of the root structure in there. I might put a little bit of wire on it just to do something with that. But apart from that, that's just going to go into probably a nice big heavy black pot. So that's what we're going to be doing. There might be a few interesting things along the way, but I've just got to get to work, so hopefully you'll enjoy me as we go along. Let's get to it then. First thing we obviously need to do is free up these baskets. Okay, so we're back with this Japanese white pine. Traditionally, the suggestion, certainly from Harry Harrington, Bonsai for me, is you do this in the autumn time, late summer, as you do with a lot of the pines. But equally, you can also do them in the spring. I'm not doing any real root work on this, as I said. I just want to get this into a bigger pot, have a little look and see what the roots are looking like, and then put a little bit of wire and also change the potting angle. And I'm thinking the potting angle might be more, hang on, where did I have it? More there. So this is coming towards and across, broad base there. Certainly that's a bit boring. That's not too bad. Yeah, I'll probably take it just a little bit further across. So let's have a look and see what's going on down there. Now the pot I've selected for it, I'm not convinced, but I want it in a heavy pot. I'm going for the black. Certainly bigger. I haven't used black pot. The only other one was actually going to be a dirty white. I'll show you. I've had this for a while, this pot hanging around, and that was going to go for something like that. That could work actually, but the reason why I'm veering away from it is because it's actually shallower. And what I want to do is I actually want to give this a bit of root room. So we'll see, but that could have worked. Securing, let's have a look. Simple wire, again, no securing points for the mesh inside. Lift it out. very clean. There's securing there, okay, and that's the reason why I do a nice straight, because it pulls out straight out nicely. We'll have a little, very light look in there. It's actually quite root bound. Very sandy soil in this. And there's certainly a couple of bigger roots, so it's been in here for a while. The white fungus, which we want. Lovely bark. Might be a few roots I'll take off. Right, I will continue to work my way around it carefully. I want to leave at least a third of it intact, but I notice there's quite a lot of fine grit in there, which isn't ideal for root production. There's a little bit of matted roots here. I don't want to dig too deep in there, but I don't think there's a massive amount there. What I have done, just poked holes through there so that it aids water to get in. And I can also feed a bit of soil into there. This is one of those ones that I'll do it in bits. So the next repot in a couple of years time, maybe 3 years time, I'll do a little bit more work around it. But initially I just want to get rid of probably some of these. There's a stray one coming across, so I don't want that. There's something hanging down here, we'll just get rid of that. Very big heavy root there. Again, the aim is to try and bring the roots out laterally rather than down and ugly. This great big long thing here. Quite a lot more roots off than I intended, to be honest. There's not a lot in here. These ones I'll poke downwards, as will this one. This one was going all the way around the corner. I'm just going to lessen that for now. Right, if we were going to offer it up to this. Ooh, put something in under there. Always looking out for little bits under the bark, just there. I don't know if you can see, just under there's a white furry, whatever it is, we don't want it. We'll get rid of that. Just have a look, see if there's anything else hiding under this bark. Probably is, but nothing else obvious. So I was talking about a front that allowed us to move that down a bit, I think. Again, I've said it before in my potting basics, the reason for using that method is I get a nice right angle there and hopefully it'll be very stretched and straight there, so there's no drooping or sagging. Just makes for a neater final product, I think. So it sits in nice and tight. I'll up the middle. Okay, so we've got a new pot. I'll be honest, I didn't notice particularly much of the white mycorrhizan, but it was doing fine. So I didn't dig right deep in there, but I think it clearly needed a lot more soil around it or something. But that's it potted up. There's far too many branches on it. But for now, all I want to do is do a little bit of wiring on this one. we've got, that's a nice thick branch. Got two from the same point, so we will need to thin this out a bit. Whether I want that one down there. Here we've got two from the same point. The reason why I like this one is because it gives me something over here. I don't really want to take this great big branch off here. It's a lovely big branch. This one isn't any good to anybody. Growth right in close, that's not going to be any good. And this one here, you see it's coming right from the crotch growth there, so we'll get rid of that. Comes forward a long way. Okay, no, I'm getting into the realms of pruning. I don't want to get into the realms of pruning this yet, mainly because before I do anything like that on something that's more valuable, and even though I've done Japanese white pine quite a bit, I always like to go back and have a little look in my notes just to make sure I've got my timings right. So I'm just going to leave that for that. I do want to put a bit of wire onto that, but truthfully, that can wait too. Use the brain. I came in to do repot, that's been repotted, so that's that one in there. So we need to move on to the next one, which are the junipers. I'll just give you a spin on that. Okay, so we'll just have a little look at this one. Front's going to be something like that, but again, I'm really working on the roots on this. There's quite a few points where there's multiple branches coming from the same junction. If you look at it, it's very, very one-sided, but as I say, it's not the tree that I've worked on lots of, so I take a little bit more care. Certainly not a, mind you, there is an obvious junction here. Here you can see it from this point here, there's actually 1, 2, 3 branches from the same point. So I need to look at things like that. That's coming out far too long, so the chances are I'll probably remove most of this. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I hope to call a safe repot, and let's move on. The next thing I wanted to do was pot this up a little bit more, have a little bit look at the rock, see how it's secured. There's some wiring that does need to be done on this, and I also need to decide what branches to keep and lose. They're quite 3 or 4 there from the same point. So first thing I do, I want to put that into a deeper pot. I've got a number of options. We could actually go Jason's Hinata, but that doesn't give me much more depth or room on it. More simplistic. It gives a little, I think, yeah, there's a little bit more depth in there for growing room. There's that option. I was also looking at that, but again, I don't think I gain much more. There's a bit more room in there. Again, there's no point repotting it into a like-minded pot if what you're trying to do is gain extra room. I could go more standard, a lot more depth in there, or I could go really big and put it back into the one that the white pine came out of, and obviously that's dwarfing it, but that might be an option. So it's about trying to work out what are you trying to achieve. This one I want to give the roots a bit more room, so those first 3 certainly don't give it more room. It's not necessarily the finished pot I'm looking for yet either, because I still need to have a little bit of fun with what's going on in here. I have a funny feeling that might be my first cutting actually, but before I take it off I want to make sure it's the right time of the year, and also that I've got the right medium to put it in, which is why I won't prune anything off this either. Best way, I won't decide yet. going to be one of these two. Very boring, I know, but it's what I want them for. As an example of the bar method, bar goes across, and then that's what keeps that tied down. Let's hope this doesn't fall apart when I do this. Yeah, whenever you get anything like this, eventually you have to understand how it's been put together, because you are going to have to maintain it. So I need to know just how this has been secured on, whether it's recent. Let's say, because what we don't know is, although this was imported last year, we don't know how long it's been in the growing factory in China, or wherever it's come from. Okay. I mean, that is very shallow, nice for the sales market. Matted roots, so there's loads of roots in this. It needed to come out. Now I need to carefully the risk is I just literally pull it off the rock. So, but yeah, there's a lot of roots on this. Some quite big lava rocks there. Okay, what I'm going to do, I've had a look under there. It's not mounds and mounds of it. Okay, so the way it was secured is literally the wire straight over the top of the rock here. So I'll do the same thing back. It's holding on there. I'm just going to clip those. So does it go in that? No. Yeah, it definitely needs to be the bigger pot. There's no doubt this bottom branch is coming off. It's far too low on the design. Now I've looked at this. This is quite an interesting one to try and attach, because well, there's certainly not enough root structure to hold it just by the roots, and really I need to keep that rock down. So I'll have to use the method they use, which is to take a thin piece of wire over the top down and secure it down through the base. To do that, I will use my rarely used 1mm wire, which is in an absolute pigsty. So I've got to try and work out a strand from there. And the key is to try and disguise and hide it as best I can, which isn't necessarily going to be that easy. So what I'm going to do is feed it up there, because I don't want to be knotting on the top. I want to be knotting underneath. So this time round, okay. I'll just leave it over there for now. More soil. Make sure I hold those ends so I don't lose them. Carefully. What I don't want to do is end up scraping it off and just scrape off the bark, which could happen very easily. I've also got to be aware this is very brittle wire, so just pull it too hard and it'll just snap. Just enough to hold it in place. So now I need to carefully tease some of those roots downwards. Without breaking them. Can't beat a bit of thumb pressure. Now this one is definitely a case where if I can find myself some moss to lay it on top, that's exactly what I need to do, some sort of top dressing, because I want to protect the roots that I've exposed, because there isn't a great vast quantity, so I'm going to go off and look for some moss. Okay, I managed to find some that's fallen off the roof. So I actually want to take a little bit of that soil out. Here, got one of Dougie's balls, which is my fertiliser. There's no roots in there, so it's just the perfect place I think to leave him. Okay, so moss is nicely applied. It'll stick on fine. I'll put that somewhere cool and probably protect it from the birds. So yeah, very happy with it. Give it a spin. Much bigger pot. I'm happy with how it's secured. I'm happy that probably I can look at it a little bit. I might say, Candice, can you have a look at this, or Adam, and perhaps you might want to send me or tell me some advice about what you do with these lower branches and how well can I get cuttings off them. So mind you, by the time you see this it'll be about 3 more weeks, so this is now the 4th of April. Okay, so that's my repot of my Itoigawa, and the other one I'm just going to do straight into a pond basket, and I don't think you need to see that. So that's all for now. Got that to pull out. It's lovely to think that's one of my own cuttings. Right, let's move to that then next, shall we?